Hello friends, welcome to the channel The Intelligent Investor. Today we are going to discuss the new results for TCS, the Q4FY21 results. And TCS has released very strong results, and let us see the different factors in which we can analyze the company. Firstly, looking at the revenue, we have seen a steady 4% sequential growth, a quarter-on-quarter growth, and almost a 9.5% year-on-year growth, taking the revenue to almost 43,700 crores. On the operating margin front as well, they have hit 26.8%, which is a 0.2% expansion Q on Q. If you look at the trends, we are seeing significant increase in the operating margin from 23.6% in Q1 FY21 to the latest quarter of 26.8%. And in the analyst conference call, they did mention that this increase has mostly been due to internal cost efficiencies as well as cost savings due to the pandemic. So they have saved on travel costs, etc. Overall, the net margin has also increased, and it is the highest in the last 5 quarters, 21.2%. Now, if we look at the Q4 order book of the 9.2 billion, this is actually the highest ever total contract value in a quarter. So we can see that TCS has always been a steady compounding machine, and it continues to be so. Now let's look at some of the software aspects. If we look at the market-wise growth, if we just look at the quarter numbers on a Q-on-Q basis, we are seeing strong sequential growth across all the geographies. Even on a year-on-year constant currency growth for Q4 FY21 compared to Q4 FY20, we are seeing strong growth. Now, the year-on-year growth is kind of expected because of the pandemic last quarter. But if you look at the Q-on-Q growth, this is pretty encouraging. At an annual level, from if we compare the FY21 to FY20, there is obviously a slight degrowth in most of the geographies, and even globally, it is mostly flattish. So from a market perspective, we can see that the sequential growth has been very steady, and the performance here has been rock solid. Now let us look at each of the domain. Now, if you look at the 6 to 7 domains which TCS operates in this quarter and this year actually, banking and financial services as well as life sciences and healthcare have done very well. So this was also mentioned in the con call. If you look at the sequential growth from 7% to 3.8% for life sciences and healthcare, for manufacturing 3.9%. So overall, we are seeing a very strong sequential growth across most of the domains. Year-on-year basis, obviously, we are seeing degrowth. So we have seen growth only in 3 of these verticals, and most of the verticals have seen a degrowth. So when this question was asked in the analyst conference call, the management indicated that we should look at the sequential numbers, and they kind of expect that that these numbers will continue in the upcoming quarters as well. Okay, now let's move on to something more interesting, which is the client distribution. So overall, they have added 4 clients which have more than 5 million. The bigger clients are mostly flattish. If you look at the 100 million plus clients, so it is mostly flattish. They've added 4 clients in this range, which is the 50 million plus clients, 97 to 101. But overall, if you see, the client growth has been pretty steady. 4 clients over here, not much of churn. So I think this is pretty decent performance by TCS on all fronts. Now let us look at some of the human resources stuff. Overall, the attrition, this is a major point. The attrition has been very much steady at 7.2%. Now, when we bring up videos for the other companies, Infosys is doing a 15% almost attrition. Wipro also, I guess they just released the numbers at 12%. So 7.2% for TCS at this scale is a very good number. And they have also been upskilling their employees and all their digital training, agile based training. So from an employee perspective, they are doing pretty well over here. Now let's analyze some excerpts from the conference call. So before we begin, I just wanted to highlight this software which I have been using. The website is called ticker.com, and you can find the link to the website in the description. If you use the referral link which I have added in the description below, you can find this website and use it completely for free. The idea of this website is you can just enter any of the listed companies, you can click on call transcripts, and you can find the latest transcript of the conference call and analyze it yourself. So here I just wanted to show one part, which is this commentary, which is how have their order book been doing for Q4. So as you can see, with the management has mentioned that they had pretty strong deal wins, and the total order book signed in the quarter was 9.2 billion, a bulk of which is coming from the BFSI order book, which is at 3.9 billion. But the retail order book is also doing pretty well at 1.4 billion. So overall, if you see overall the total order book for this financial year had a growth of 17.1%, which is a very, very strong number. So just before we close the video, one last point on which we should see is the guidance and how we can expect TCS to grow in the near future. Now, if you look at the guidance, this is an interesting question by an analyst on, that we have seen sequential growth numbers pretty strong in the last 3 quarters. So what in the last 3 quarters here? And what is the normalized sequential growth for a company of your size? So that's question number one. And the answer is very interesting, which is this, I think double digit is the aspirational band that if you can achieve that, we're in a good wicket. So as you can see, the management, who is the CEO of the company, is kind of directing us towards almost a double digit. Even here he said, otherwise our long-term strategy is built on trying to achieve that double digit number. So this is a pretty interesting takeaway from my end, where although as I mentioned, that we the kind of growth which we saw here, at across geographies and even across domains has been pretty much single digit. But going ahead with the digital transformation setting in across all industries, they are expecting high double digit growth. So this is a pretty much encouraging factor. Now let us quickly look at how the company has been doing on the valuation front. So if you look at on the valuation front over here, if you look at the total the net earnings to revenues, it's at 6.12x. Overall, if you look at the trailing multiples, which is the price to diluted EPS, which is 37.12, which is not very cheap compared, but still, compared to the other peers, this is still fine. And given the rate at which the company compounds, this is very much an important addition to your portfolio always. So overall, this is definitely something which is part of mine, and I feel my portfolio, and I feel that that this should definitely be a part of everyone's portfolio. And yeah, you can explore this terminal by clicking on the link in the description below. If you like this video, please feel free to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so that the YouTube algorithm recommends it to more people who might be interested in this earnings analysis. Thank you, and watch out for the next video coming up for the Infosys analysis, which is again a look at the valuations, look at the management commentary, and we'll look at how Infosys has done over the last quarter and the last year. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.